Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Insight Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Taher, the social media and marketing specialist at Sentinel Technologies. Today is a special episode, my friends. It is the first ever co-branded edition of the Insight Podcast, and it is sponsored by Cisco. Today, I have with me two guests, Mr. Dale Owens, the Senior Vice President of Sales at Sentinel Technologies. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And I have Mr. Nick Schlommer, who is the Solutions Engineering Manager for Chicago Metro and Illinois, Wisconsin at Cisco. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on.
Good to be here.
Glad to have you. Now, the focus of today's special episode is everything thought leadership and how Cisco and Sentinel collaborate together to provide the best possible experience for our customers. Now, based on that, and either of you, whoever want to start and chime in, how do Sentinel and Cisco navigate together with a customer to provide the best solutions? And whoever would like to take it, open floor.
Dale, start us off.
All right. I think we've seen the market's changed over the last 20 some years of our relationship with Cisco. Going back, many, many years, it was always about talking about specific products, and let's talk about your routing or your switching and how we, together with our partner Cisco, can talk to our customers about, what's new and what's fancy, what's faster, the speeds and feeds, and getting into the repetitive buying approach where people every 3 years or so would upgrade their technology because technology was changing so fast. The faster chipsets and the faster routing and the faster switching, and people would automatically go through a refresh routine. Same kind of thing with the Cisco Avid architecture back in the day. It's the Cisco telephony. It was, a thing that provided value and features and functions, and we would bring the products out there. And to a certain extent, that technology would sell itself over a period of time. Over the last several years, we're evolving into a space where no longer is it only about the hard technology that's in front of us. It's not the fastest thing, or it's not this shiny new object that we're trying to sell people. It's evolving into helping people. It's about identifying what's important. And our relationship with Cisco has been very, very strong for these 20 years or more. And, working together with the sales leadership, sales individuals, AM to AM, as well as with the solution managers, such as Nick, we've been able to work together to identify our customers that have unique situations and needs and how we can work together to identify them. Not as much going in there to telling them what they need, but more to work with them to identify what are some of the challenges they're faced with and how we can come up with ideas for them to solve some of them.
Yeah, well stated. I completely agree. I think that, to Dale's point, traditionally it was a project-based engagement. It was, we are going to refresh this piece of our infrastructure, be it collab, security, route switch, campus. And today it's much more of a long-term, it's a partnership with our customers. We truly do become an extension. And the way that Sentinel and Cisco broker that extension, we each have a role to play, but yet collectively we still ultimately reach the outcome. And I know outcomes is an overused concept, but with the advent of lifecycle management under Cisco's subscription model, right, Sentinel has leaned headstrong into that with CX practice and developing success plans. And I think that engagement with our customers, it's key. I mean, one of the common phrases I use with my team on our weekly calls is solve challenges and make a customer's life better. And I think that's really what Sentinel and Cisco do together. And it's not that waterfall approach where it's one project to the next. It's really an extension of the customer, and that's absolutely critical. And we're also seeing our customers become more digitally oriented, and it's spreading across more business units. Traditionally, it would just be the VP team or the IT teams, and now it's operations and management and HR and accounting, especially as things move into a SaaS model. So as we expand our lifecycle approach, both with Sentinel and Cisco kind of in lockstep, I think that our customers are also leaning into that as well and being challenged in new ways that really our approach aligns with what they're attempting to do, whether it's just operations or even it's centric to an organization's ability to generate revenue. I think Sentinel and Cisco really align well in our modern customer demand.
Definitely, that was well said. So, a common cause for both Cisco and Sentinel seems to be the customer, and that's how we work together to provide them with the best solutions. Now, how do our customers operationalize the technologies that are offered to best suit them?
Well, I would say our customers, they take our lead on some of the challenges that they face. We have discussions to identify what they are and what are they facing on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes it's hard for them to really be able to see those. So we at Sentinel, we try coming up with specific workshops. So the sales approach, as I mentioned earlier, is moving from us kind of dictating down, pieces and parts to more of us sitting together with a client and there's technical resources with Cisco to identify, some of the programs that may be out there. So one of the ways it's a workshop we utilize, it could be on a security collaboration, it could be on SD-WAN, different types of technologies that we'll actually have workshops to identify, specific exact areas within the organization that we'll pull from, and then we'll put together in this 90 to 120 minute workshop. We'll put together a report that will identify specific needs or challenges or ideas that they could look at to identify challenges they see in the future and how we could incorporate technologies and solution sets to fit that mold and what they're looking for. And together with the Cisco sales team, as well as with the operations team, we could help them understand whether those areas are going to be operationalized, are they going to be the traditional capitalized purchases, or the combination of those, and which of these operational technologies makes most sense for the organization and why.
So, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of goes back to what Sentinel's bread and butter has always been too, is project deployment, right? I mean, that's absolutely been something that they've done extremely well for many, many years, aligning with Cisco technologies and operationalizing, to Dale's point, that next step. We've kind of given customers that streamlined next step, right? Not only are you investing in a customer to deploy that initial purchase in that project, but then we're also looking at day two and operationalizing. And now with Cisco's advancement in the portfolio of things like SecureX and Cisco Threat Response with integrations like Talos, it's absolutely incumbent upon Dale and the rest of the Sentinel team, as we look at that initial deployment around the project, to continue to offer the operationalization of these various improvements that Cisco's offered, and really educate, to Dale's workshop comment, really educating through these workshops on what is that next step. All too often, I see our customers investing in new security products and new collaboration products, be it WebEx, and not really understanding how the user base is going to consume that, or how they're going to be able to enhance their IR, their incident response, with some of Cisco's additional technologies, right? You're not just buying the hardware anymore. There are significant software advantages and significant innovations that Cisco offers that come with the subscription model we now offer. And it's Sentinel and that ability to take it into day two and beyond to help our customers operationalize that technology. And they do it very well.
Wonderful.
Daniel, what we've been able to do is, Sentinel's been a operationally focused organization providing a lot of annuity-based services for our customers for years. Whether it's going to be on a managed services, on a support arm of our technology. Our company, 38 years ago was formed about providing operational-based services to our customers, albeit it was at a different time and place with different architectures. It was an IBM mainframe support. But however, our organization's always been involved with providing those type of opportunities and support. As we have moved through the paradigm over all these years, as we evolve into the managed services of our customers, into providing security services from our SOC services we provide. The whole idea is to provide a framework of solution sets and utilizing Cisco as a primary framework partner to identify some of the opportunities that are out there and incorporating SecureX, not only necessarily just providing them SecureX, but also how do we involve them with our own annuity-based services to enhance their overall offerings. It makes them more resilient and more secure in their environment, and allows us at Sentinel to provide some of the kind of white glove treatment that we provide our customers, but utilizing the best of breed technical solutions that Cisco provides from an operational standpoint. It allows us to really provide a very robust solution.
Excellent. Now, Cisco and Sentinel are both here to educate our customers and offer easy IT offers and give guidance for options to look at, to develop roadmaps together, and the risks of not doing so. So you did speak briefly about life cycle. So for the average viewer, can you break down exactly what the life cycle process is?
Yeah, Nick, why don't you handle this one?
Yeah, I'll take that one, absolutely. So at Cisco, from a lifecycle perspective, we do have what we consider a racetrack methodology, right? It's really this concept of how does the customer move throughout a buying decision into implementation, into adoption, and ultimately into possibly a renewal, things of that nature of the technology. And lifecycle across the IT community now has really kind of become mainstream because our customers demand more from us, right? And the concept of the consumption gap of buying technology and not turning on all the value and features that it offers, that's something that I think that Cisco and Sentinel have kind of taken to heart. And we want to make sure that at the end of the day, you're not buying shelfware, right? And you're really turning things on. So this whole lifecycle concept is more of an intimate engagement throughout the life of your IT investment and making sure, to Dale's point, you're operationalizing to actually get value and outcome. And so all the way from a pre-sales engagement with, like my team and the solution architect team over at Sentinel engaging to design and architect a solution that's going to be then implemented, but then also engaging with the operational staff to understand how to support that solution. You understand how your users are going to consume possibly a collaboration solution across WebEx Teams and WebEx collaboration and cloud calling, or even from an operations standpoint, how are you going to actually consume the dashboard that SecureX is going to offer you? Or God forbid you get into an IR event, you actually understand how to utilize Cisco threat response with things like Talos, threat hunting capabilities. And so that is lifecycle. It's not just we're going to sell you a solution and then, essentially you're kind of on your own, good luck. It's very much we're going to allow you to consume that, or you're going to consume that solution. And we as Sentinel and Cisco are going to kind of be there throughout that 3-5 year subscription to really help you consume. And really adopt that technology to get full value out of your IT investment. And, I think that the IT community has really needed this for a long time.
Yeah, Nick, I would agree with that. I think back what IT solutions used to be, a handful of years ago or so, it was you identify there is a pain, you would go through and you would put together a solution set for the customer. You would deploy that solution set. It would solve that specific pain, and then you would move on, and theoretically that pain would be gone until the next time you have the conversation, whether that's 18 months or 2 or 3 years out. Then you would identify ongoing other issues, and you would go for the next round of solution sets for that specific customer. It's not like that anymore. It's more of a collaborative, ongoing, multi-year approach of identifying how we can provide value and solutions to our customers. So as we provide a solution and we sell them on how we can provide the whatever technical aspects that's going to solve the business outcome they're looking for, it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. While we can deploy the technology and we can start installing the software, it's the adoption of the specific elements of that software, enabling the customer to see the value of that product that really provides the solution. And several CX representatives, the managers, are working with our customers on a daily basis to identify the solution sets that we've actually sold, identifying where they are in the rollout period. Have they been adopted? Have they been tested? Do they see the value? Can we continue to look at enhancing them to make sure that we're hitting the mark and providing the value that our customers are looking for? So it's truly no longer just a point-in-time sale and solution, then go on. It's truly a point-in-time sale that you work together with Cisco, with Sentinel, with the customer collaboratively on making sure that we're hitting the mark that they're looking for. And that's providing operational type support, through software, through services, through accommodation through Sentinel services to provide that value.
And Dale, you hit on something that's fantastic there. I want to make sure we highlight that. When I speak to a lot of our CIOs and our VPs of technology, right, a common conversation we get into is how do we measure our IT success? How do we actually objectify that we're adopting our investments and that the investment in technology is actually helping the business, whether it's generate top line or streamline the bottom line and generate profitability. And that's really what adoption allows. We add key performance indicators or OKRs, however you want to define it, and operational key results to what we're actually doing. How many users are actually engaging in a WebEx? How often are we actually turning our video on and utilizing our video endpoints inside of WebEx? And a common thing that I always talk to some of my executives that I work with on a regular basis is don't let somebody else measure your success for you. Define what your success is and measure it for them. And I think that's key to a lot of our CIOs and our VPs today to educate a lot of their executive leadership or even their boards on how IT is really moving the ball forward for a business. And that's really at the heart of lifecycle outside of just making sure you're buying and adopting your technology. I think that's an ununderstood element or a misunderstood element that really should be highlighted to a lot of our key technology stakeholders out there in the field.
Excellent. Now, gentlemen, any other notes you'd like to end on? This is a thought leadership themed podcast, the first one that is sponsored by Cisco. Thank you again. What would you like to leave to resonate with any viewers watching today?
Hey, Nick, if I can jump in real quick, I would say, the relationship that Sentinel has with Cisco goes hand in hand for over 20 years. When I meet with Nick, and Nick was formerly from Sentinel a long time ago, and I meet with many other people on Nick's team as well as through the leadership team, whether we go to Cisco Partner Summit or we meet at their offices. Gosh, let's hope the COVID situation relaxes so we can see face-to-face again. But the relationships that we have built and that built over time, that's working together to solve our customers' problems. The one thing that Sentinel's always had is how do we provide value? How do we provide value to our customers and help educate them on what's available in the marketplace? Because nowadays, things are moving so fast that our customers don't have teams of people that are researching specific solution sets and what may be available. What is the value to them? How I can mitigate risk by having a specific overview of what I can be looking at with the solution. Because they look at companies like Sentinel, who has the investment of people from our people that we have from our Tiger team that report up through our enterprise architecture and innovations group, through our advisory team of individuals we have in the field that provide high-level technical consulting to our customers, then to our field deployment specialists, as well as our annuity specialists from the cloud, our people that have for managed services, as well as from our security team. They all work together under the umbrella of together with Cisco and the Cisco product sets that we have. And together we work towards providing collaborative solutions for our customers. And that's so important nowadays that we can help lead our customers, because it's not necessarily about what we want to sell. It's really educating our customer what is available and what is the value that they can see from this. And it's the value now, but also over the next 3 and 5 years.
Well said. Well said. Now, I'll play off that a little bit where as a solution architect or engineer in previous facets of my career, one of the things that I was big on is I don't need to ask for a sale, right? If I'm really solving a customer challenge, it's intuitive, right? It's just it's a natural byproduct of us being successful and helping our customers move well forward. And that's, I always use the word intuitive when we're talking internally about Sentinel and Cisco. I think when we walk into either office and we start planning for either a fiscal year or a quarter, usually we're pretty intuitive on how we see the market because we're in touch with our customers. And when we're in touch with the customers, we see the same challenges, and then we see a very similar solution set to pretty much what Dale was saying. And the last thing that I would leave this podcast with, and those that are listening who are customers, continue to challenge us and continue to really ask for that education. I think that our IT stakeholders are, just like us, are learning a new muscle in this lifecycle methodology. We're getting away from that waterfall approach. We're moving more into agile. It's more recursive, it's more iterative in its process, and continue to challenge us, because that also helps us grow and help us add more value to you in the future. But ultimately, the one thing I do want to leave with is, we see the playing field very similarly. I like that. And that's one of the things that really expands Sentinel and Cisco's partnership is great minds think alike.
Excellent. Thank you so much, gentlemen, Dale, Nick, for joining us on this special edition episode of the Insight Podcast, and we hope to see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.